Welcome to Sub-Auteurs. I'm Anja.
I'm Mai.
I'm Misha.
Woohoo! And today we will be recording about a very special, momentous event. Well, very special na nga, momentous pa.
I know.
Wow. No, because we would like to thank Netflix Philippines and AdPub Hub for giving us early access to the whole season of Bridgerton Season 2.
Hello! Thank you. And
Thank
we
you,
shall
guys.
be doing this episode with an accent.
Our
I'm
stomachs
just
are
gonna keep my
full.
pinky up. I'm gonna keep my pinky up so you all know I'm classy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be that effective this episode because my stomach is still full from all the food that they sent over.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you for the
Really?
goodies.
Really,
You were
really
able to
classy
enjoy
food.
it.
Oh my god, she's really gonna do the accent. She's really gonna do it.
You know, when you start it, it's really hard to stop.
Wait, can you do that but speak in Filipino?
Hutang ina.
Gago ka.
Gago ka.
Gago ka.
My choice
Oh
of
my
words.
God.
Very classy. Very, very classy choice of words in Tagalog. Tagalog!
Tagalog. I don't know how long we can keep this up for, pero I'm
I
gonna
keep
give
my
up.
pinky up all day. I don't know about your accent.
I could go on all day.
I'm
Let's go.
giving up before I even start, so.
Let's just start the episode.
Okay, so we were given early access for Bridgerton Season 2. Me being me, I was not really interested in the beginning, so because I did not, I really didn't care about Season 1. What did you guys think about this?
Oh, I ate season 1 up. I'm sorry. It was one of my guilty pleasures. I really enjoyed season 1.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, okay,
What-
pleasures.
There you go. There, thank you.
Pleasures. Pleasures. I have to
Okay.
say it with that.
There was no guilt.
No, actually, no. It was actually a hot show back then, and I got really curious. And people just were, for some reason, talking about the sex scenes.
Hot show, ha.
Hot show. It's like,
Interesting
yes.
choice of words.
No, really. It literally, like, people were saying, like, oh my God, the lead guy is so hot. You have to see it. And then, oh my God, the sex scenes are so hot and it's so fun. It's like Gossip Girl, but set in, old English times. So that was
Yeah,
already for me.
Gossip Girl.
It really is ye old gossip girl.
So I actually had no plans of watching season 2 because the lead from season 1, which was the Duke of Hastings, aka the actor Reggae Jean Page, who was, oh my God, he was so hot. I can't.
Are we gonna jump into a thirst portion for a bit?
Agad,
I think this whole thing will be a thirst portion.
not really, because like he was the reason I stuck through it. Okay, we gotta admit, the story isn't original because technically, yes, it is ye old Gossip Girl. Literally, you just take characters or like the plot of Gossip Girl and just change the setting. It's kind of like that. So it's not a show for the mind, if you know what I mean. It's not something you would watch and like really ponder upon life with,
Not
So-
a show for the mind.
No.
Right.
It more for the loins.
Okay.
That's super classy.
This is so interesting because you have an interesting lineup of words to start off the show. I mean, like you had a hot show, you had a show not for the minds, and what was the last one?
It's
For the loins.
For the loins.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's pretty much descriptive of what season 1
Yes,
was like.
yes.
Oh,
But
my
you,
Yes.
Misha?
Season
seen-
1 stirred her loins, yes, clearly.
I thought you were gonna say stirred my
And
loins.
okay, so I mean, like, I went into the first one not knowing what to expect since the show is like based on these romance novels. But I like the twist that they put on it because they set it in this kind of alternate reality. which I think a lot of people didn't pick up on initially. It only makes sense when you start to think about it. Like, why are there black characters with high ranks in English society? Why is the queen black and all that sort of thing? But because of the way they made it, it was just so fun. You accept it without thinking. You don't realize that this whole thing is based. They leveraged like this old conspiracy theory that Queen Charlotte actually was part black. In this show, they lean right into it. So it gave them an excuse to cast hot people of color, and I am totally in favor of this.
See, Misha
was it that specific?
He can't.
No, I'm just
hot
saying.
either.
You cannot. And Mai's absolutely right. It is ye old Gossip Girl, except with Mary Poppins instead of Veronica Mars doing the narrating.
Oh yes.
And I don't think Dan Humphrey will turn out to be Gossip Girl in this case.
No.
But I like this season. Actually like it better than the first one, to be honest. The first one was a lot more whimsical, young love, that kind of thing. This one is more about responsibility and actually looks at what goes into an actual relationship. It's not just thirst portion.
No,
it's a lot more grounded. It is.
Yes.
Because season 1 was young love because Daphne, the lead in season 1 was a debutante, and that's where she meets her man, the Duke, who is so fucking hot. I'm sorry.
She really can't. She really
I can't
mention.
I really can't.
She really can't stop mentioning how hot he is.
Stop mentioning. But yes, the first one was about young love, and this one actually touches upon like what Misha said, responsibilities, because it focuses on the older brother. So just for a little context for people who might not know or just like happen to stumble upon this even without watching Bridgerton. Bridgerton is originally a series of books, and each book features a certain Bridgerton sibling. So the Bridgertons are this high-class family, and they're rich, they're very noble, and each book focuses on a particular sibling. So book 1 or season 1 focused on Daphne and her journey, which now brings us to season 2, which is about the eldest brother, Anthony, and his journey. And even if this is a show basically about the siblings, you don't really need to watch season 1 to fully understand season 2. There are some things that you might need to know, but you'll figure it out along the way. But you can totally enjoy season 2 just as is. And I do recommend it because the story is just more full, I think. It's the characters are better written in this one.
Definitely.
And I didn't get as thirsty because of the absence of Reggae Jean Page. I was one of those people, I admit it, ladies, if you are listening, ladies and gays and guys, and if you were at all attracted to Reggae Jean Page in season 1, when they announced that he wouldn't be in season 2 because of scheduling conflicts, people were like, God damn it, I'm not watching season 2. I was one of those people.
I had the exact same reaction as you. Look,
wanted to watch him?
I was not as thirsty as some people for the dude. But, let's call a good-looking spade a good-looking spade.
So good looking. And if you think about it, he wasn't really needed in season 2. So, because basically, he and Daphne already had their happily ever after. Daphne will show up in season 2 because obviously the story is about her brother and she still needs to be there for him from time to time. But yeah, you don't really need the Duke of Hastings there.
I disagree. I felt his absence whenever they would have their family gatherings.
Why? There was no hot in-law?
No. No, because the first season, they really took the time to establish he understood how important family was to Daphne. And it was only, in the course of their relationship that he realized that maybe it was something he wanted for himself because he didn't have that growing up. So I just found the excuses they would find to have him not on cam were just so flimsy in this one. Oh, he has to take care of the baby. Oh, he's busy. I'm like, those are literally the excuses you use when somebody didn't renew their contract or they went off to another show or they went off to make a movie. Those are the excuses you use.
Well,
and I know the books are each one centers on a different sibling, but the other characters are still kind of around in the periphery.
They are. But okay, fine. Well, I'm surprised
contractual
Nisha was the one
issues.
who said that. He's
Yeah.
not really pivotal in the story, but
He's not. He's really not.
he
You
would
only
have
need him, like,
been great.
just show his face for like 2 seconds, you know.
I
Just
would have been happy with Misha just saying like I flat out wanted to see a hot in-law. I mean, like, sorry, I don't know. That's what I was expecting the first time he said he wanted the Duke to show up.
But good news for your thirst portion is that we have new cast members to fill in the gap, as it were. And Simone Ashley, who you may have seen on Sex Education,
Yeah.
she is phenomenal.
Whoa.
Like, she just shows her face in the first 10 minutes, and you're like, Duke,
Damn.
who? What? Wait, what? Yeah, holy crap. She
Who's
makes
the
an
Duke?
impression.
Oh yeah. We'll talk more about her and more about her later. It got
Yeah.
distracted.
So okay,
Yes.
okay. Enough about the Duke, since he's not in season 2 anyway. Unfortunately.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We can get to the focus of season 2. Like I said, it's about Anthony, and so basically it starts off with a new season of debutantes, like the search for the diamond of the season, just like what happened in Daphne in season 1.
Yes.
So, younger sister Eloise is now set to be the next Bridgerton debutante, and if you know Eloise, she's the free-spirited one who doesn't really care about society's norms. She's the smart one. She's always like, "Oh, women can do whatever they want.
She
This is all
likes breaking
bullshit.
tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about this.
I love Eloise.
These fancy
Me
dresses.
too.
Not
I love her.
Just
Yeah.
because of how she is. Like, I
she's-
want to break.
She's
I'm gonna break away from
independent.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. She's very smart. So yeah, this is her season now, and obviously she's not taking it well. And this also happens to be the season where Anthony decides that he will find a bride. So Anthony, as the eldest brother, is always leaned on by his siblings and his family because he's basically the man of the house since their father died. So he's always known to be like very straight edge, probably a Capricorn or a Virgo, being like, oh, I just gotta, deal with the family's shit. I'm the head of the household. I don't care about love. I just want the perfect bride to, to
Make babies.
yeah, make babies, continue the family name or whatever. And she has to be honorable. He has so many standards for his soon to be bride.
Mm.
I can't
And-
imagine marrying out of duty.
I know, right? But that's Anthony for you. He doesn't believe in love, much unlike his sister Daphne, who was really just searching for one to be with at the end of the day, which she
In
found
fact,
eventually.
I found Anthony entirely unlikable in season 1. I like
Yeah.
that this season fleshes him out, makes him a more rounded
Yes.
person.
Mhm.
We see that he's got reasons for his beliefs and his actions. That he really does just want, the best for his family. And he's willing to sacrifice his own happiness to accomplish that.
Mm-hmm. And well, in comes the Sharma family with the siblings Edwina and Kate.
Mhm.
Actually, Anthony has already met Kate before the whole debutante ball. So there's already some sort of tension. You can tell straight up that they don't really like each other, or do they? They have this do they, don't they kind of thing going on. And yeah, it's a really good setup for how it's going to be the entire season.
Definitely. And I think I really like that, a lot of TV shows, when they stretch out the sexual tension over a number of episodes or even a number of seasons, it just gets tired after a while. I think the fact that, Netflix, we're now in an age with shows are at a manageable, bingeable length. You don't need to stretch it out for 26 episodes a season anymore. You can do 10 episode chunks, 8 to 10 episode chunks, and the tension is, for me, what really makes this season. If the last one, it was all about, sexy time. In this one, and I'm sorry to say here, it's with the anticipation for the sexy time that makes this one work, because you see what the characters go through. You go through their emotions, you go through all the things that they're willing to do to either resist or, to pursue it. And it adds a lot of depth to everything. It's not just it's not just about the meat market of finding a husband or choosing a wife from the buffet of debutantes that are presented to the queen every season, presented to the ton.
To the tone. Yeah.
The
It's
ton.
funny. It's funny how
When
you
will
mentioned.
we ever join a ton? How rich do you have to be part of a ton?
I don't know. There might be tons of tons.
Oh my God. See, this
Okay,
is why you're
it's
not
funny how
getting
you
into a ton.
Ay nako. Ay nako. Okay,
That's heavy.
you're not getting into a ton too.
I never said I was.
Ay nako.
Okay.
All right.
on.
Okay.
Mga
It's funny how you
tonta.
mentioned. Okay. Okay. We're getting off topic.
Meanwhile, in Bridgerton,
It's a Eton. Centuries.
You
Oh my
tried.
God.
It's okay.
I tried. It's okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right.
It's
Anyway,
funny
back
how
to
back to Bridgerton. It's funny how you mentioned wala tuloy ako. Fucking tons. Ah! It's funny how you mentioned the tension between characters, as this focal point of what kept us going, what kept us binging, going through the episodes for this one. I want to talk about some of the characters now. Like we mentioned a few background of Anthony, a little bit of what Anthony's character was like. I want to talk about his character a little bit more because I didn't really get to see him in season 1 because I didn't watch season 1. So what can you guys tell me about Anthony in this season?
Anthony in season 1 was actually the kind of stage brother of Daphne's. She was the debutante, and he was always out there looking out for her, and always breathing down her neck. But like, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. He was just always he was so straight edge. Yun talaga, no? Parang he just wants everything in line. Such a perfectionist.
Parang, question.
He was just like the overbearing older brother.
Yes.
He's like, oh, you can't marry that guy. He's got debts. Oh, you can't marry that guy. He's only a low member of society.
Yeah.
He kept like, you need perfection. Unfortunately, Daphne ends up with his best friend from school.
And he knows all the shit that his best friend has done wherever he's been. You know what I mean?
But he can't tell his sister why he knows these things because he was doing them too.
Exactly. That's what's the funny thing about Anthony. Back in season 1, he was the very strict brother, but deep down, you know that he's still up to no good because he would go to whorehouses.
Yep.
And he actually fell in love with one of them. And that doesn't work out eventually. We can do spoilers for season 1. Come on, guys.
I
It's season
think
2.
so. Yeah, it's been out for like a couple of years now.
So, there. So now he's totally sworn off love because.
But that feeds into his whole straight edge thing.
Yeah.
Because he knew he could never marry the opera singer.
Yeah, exactly. So now that's why he is extra strict and extra uptight in season 2.
Yeah. But at least now he's like more human. And I love that they gave him a character who is essentially his equal.
Yes.
So the tension feels earned versus in the first one, it was just, Daphne's innocence and naive nature that was driving the plot while Simon was a man of the world. Here, it's two people who are all too aware of their standing in society and what the responsibilities of their families are, to the point that, they're not even, they don't even think they can acknowledge their mutual attraction. Even if the tension is so thick, you can cut it with a knife.
It is. And Jonathan Bailey does such a good job. He may not be as attractive as the season 1 lead, aka
I'll
Reggae
vouch
Jean
for
Page.
that.
Yeah. He doesn't have that sex appeal he had.
Sorry. That just...
Again, I have eyes, all right?
You will understand if you watch season 1, Anjo.
Okay.
You don't understand us.
Seriously, Duke
Okay.
of Hastings, Simon in the first season was just like,
Holy shit.
he was like sex on legs.
Exactly.
Like, seriously.
And we're back.
Give me
I'm so
enough
sorry.
time to Google
I'm
about...
sorry too, but I have to contribute to this now.
Okay. I get it.
Yes. Okay. Back to Jonathan Bailey, aka
Yeah.
Anthony. Okay.
Yeah.
So he,
AKA second best lead.
Third best lead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
so sorry. He's just not as appealing. But
no,
he acts very well.
Physically, yes. But then I found myself not really falling for the character, but you really do end up seeing his charm despite this very rough exterior. Because, those moments when he goes soft or, he just shows a little bit of vulnerability, that really gets you. You know what I mean? It's a staple in dramas. Whenever the uptight guy suddenly just like shows any ounce of emotion, it's like the impact is just extra for you. And Jonathan Bailey does an amazing job. And he can outact Reggae Jean Page by miles.
I agree.
Such a great actor. And my cousin is actually a huge fan of Jonathan Bailey, and she read the books. And she said, like, honestly, that book that centers on Anthony was my absolute fave out of all the Bridgerton books. And I see why. I see why. Because, the characters are so well fleshed out. And Jonathan Bailey acted the shit out of Anthony.
Agreed. I agree completely. And I like that the cast around is also up to the challenge. Simone Ashley, you've seen her in Sex Education, where she's just basically playing a grade A bitch. Here, she's playing, and I mean, for lack of a better description, forgive me if it's cliche, but she is a strong, independent woman. She knows what she wants. She knows how to get it, and she is just as determined to see to her family's best interests as much as, if not more than, Anthony. Because she has that added layer of having to do all the things that Anthony does without the independence of having a penis in this time period.
Yes, and the money, to be honest, because the Bridgertons are super well off. And the Sharmas, not so much.
And I, to be honest, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about this whole thing taking place in a fantasy alternate reality where people of color can basically be treated like human beings in this time period in the early 1800s. I like seeing the different interactions. At first, it was jarring to me, honestly. I mean, as hot as that last guy was, you're questioning how come he's not like somebody's servant? How is he in line to be a duke in this? But the show does it very well. And something apparently that they wanted to include when they were making it was they didn't want to make it colorblind. They didn't want to pretend that slavery and all those things didn't happen. They just wanted to say that what if history took a different turn? If King George just straight up said, I married a black woman, deal with it, and everybody had rights back in the day. So it's cool seeing all these different characters. You got white people, you got brown people, you got black people, you have Asian people even, in the ton. and their races aren't so much issues as all the intrigues that everybody gets up to, because everybody is still up in everybody's business, which is why, ye old gossip girl still has business.
Yes. Lady Whistledown.
Dear reader, I will listen to Julie Andrews read a phone book.
Yes, I would too. And it just like adds so much finesse to the voiceover whenever she does it. I swear.
Yes.
Like everything becomes a million times classier.
Which leads me to the character of Pen, who is, at first a little bit adorable, and then she just gets annoying towards the end.
Yeah. I'm actually glad that at the end of season 1, they actually revealed who Lady Whistledown was, as opposed to, let's say, Gossip Girl, where you find out at the final season or final episode, actually, who Gossip Girl actually is. Hello, Dan Humphrey. And as well as Pretty Little Liars, who goes on for seasons and seasons and seasons asking the question, who is A? Like, God damn it. Oh my God, it gets so tired. But I'm so glad we find out at the start of season 1, which unfolds pretty interestingly in season 2.
I was actually surprised when they did that for season 1, because I thought it would be one of those shows where you never know until the last episode.
In the books, they take a few volumes. I think they get to like volume 4 before they reveal that it's Pen. I was surprised at the reveal at the end of season 1, but I have to say that I wish they dragged it out a bit. Maybe not all the way to the end, but like just leave the mystery open a little bit. Because every time they would go back to who is Lady Whistledown in this season, I mean, I was like, but we already know who it is. So kind of the tension was just more in when will she be found out? which
Yeah.
I felt distracted from the thirst show that was happening with
I just
Anthony
kinda
and
like-
Kate.
I like the idea of a Whistledown, fighting the queen, in her own way.
Because the queen wants to be the queen chismosa.
Yeah, that was quite. That's just
The Queen
I love
Marites.
that.
It's like I want to know everything. That's why my fake hair is so big.
Wait, can I just say also the queen doesn't even exist as a character in the books.
Oh, really?
But she's like my favorite in the show. Her and Lady Danbury get some of the best put downs, the best one-liners, and they're always trying to outdo each other. They don't even exist, as major players in the books.
I
Like, the
think-
queen doesn't exist at all. She
think-
exists, but she's not featured.
I think
and
Lady
also,
Danbury
presumably
wins.
she's white, but
Hmm.
Lady Danbury is there, but she's a minor character because
Hmm.
she's not the one who raises Simon in the books. But here, they're like two people of color, and they get some of the best scenes and the best lines, and I am all for it.
I
love
think Lady Danbury wins
too.
by virtue of eyebrows alone. But
love
that's
her.
just me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although I kind of disagree. Well, maybe it's me watching all of these tired shows stretching out the identity of a certain character for so long. I just found it pretty refreshing that we found out. But we can also get to how Eloise still continues her season 1 search of trying to find out who Lady Whistledown is. And that just makes her even more interesting now. Like, not gonna say what happens or the twists and turns that lead up to whatever happens in season 2, but it just makes Eloise so interesting.
I
More
love it.
That she
likable,
never
more
gave
lovable.
up. Yeah, she
I-
never gave up on searching for
Okay.
Lady Whistledown.
She's
Aside-
basically Joe March. I love her.
Yes. The thing is, the whole time watching season 2 is I felt like I was watching. Well, that's Joe March is from Little Women, but the whole time I was watching season 2 just because of the interactions between the Viscount and Miss Sharma. I felt like I was watching Pride and Prejudice, but written by millennial Jane Austen.
Right.
Mm.
So that's
I
the
agree.
whole vibe of this.
Yeah, that's their
of
charm.
this season 2.
I agree
Yeah.
completely. And I love the whimsical touches that we mentioned earlier. That just add to the whole elevated reality of it. It's not like full on fantasy. It's more like an elevated reality where the colors are brighter, the people are prettier, and oh my god, the soundtrack is fucking amazing.
I freaking love the Vitamin String Quartet touches of modern songs.
Modern
but
pop
Vitamin
songs.
String
Oh my
Quartet
God, yes.
versions. Oh, so good. And this is actually something they already practiced in season 1. And quite notably, during the sexy time montage, Taylor Swift's Wildest Dreams was playing.
Yes.
That's just I don't know, like
It,
Taylor
what-
Swift and the sex
At
scene.
what point
huh?
did you realize that the string pieces were modern songs, Anjo, in season 2? Since you
No,
didn't see
when
one.
Material Girl hit, I was like, oh, that's hey, I like that. The debutante
Yeah.
ball. I was like, hey,
It's amazing in contextualizing for a
The-
modern
the-
audience.
the
I
thing-
love it.
the thing is, I thought it would be cheesy and like badui, so to speak. But then, oddly enough, watching it, it just fits because sometimes it just ends up being pretentious. Just because they live in the 18th or 19th century, we can fit in this kind of music, a classical cover of a modern pop song. But this one, it strangely enough, it works. It fits. It's not badui. It just elevates, as Misha mentioned, it elevates the entire series or the feel of the entire series.
Mhm.
And it's not just putting a cover of a modern song just for the sake of it. If you actually
Yes.
know the song, it really fits the scene. Like what Anjo said, Material Girl, it was one of the big opening songs when they're actually at a ball and everybody's all decked out and dressed
mean,
up
mhm.
and
I
trying
mean,
to
let's
impress
face it.
everybody.
Let's face it.
Mhm.
These the reason why they have the debutante balls is so they can marry into a family of good reputation or rich families.
Yeah.
And
So,
the song
the word of the
choices
tongue.
continue to be absolutely on point. Like seriously.
Best
My-
song. Best
Personal
best.
favorite. My favorite song from the first season was when they put
Wildest
Billie
Dreams, joke
Eilish's.
lang.
No, I was gonna go with Bad Guy actually.
Oh yeah.
Because
I
They
remember
did
that.
Bad Guy.
That was the
I'm gonna
first
watch
dance
season
of
1 then.
Daphne and Simon, and that's the song they went with. I'm like, I like this.
Yeah.
But here in this one, I'd have to say Wrecking Ball. That was brilliant
Nah.
use of it in this one. In
Okay,
this
I have to
second
agree.
season.
That was a.
Wrecking Ball was really good.
I think I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Dancing on My
Dancing
Own.
on My Own was my favorite. Ooh.
Fuck! I already love that song in general, but then when I heard it, like, oh shit, ang ganda ng
No, but
moment
it was so
din.
perfect when they put it in. Eh.
Yeah.
Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's Dancing on My Own. Like, dang, this show's getting better. That's what I didn't expect. 'Cause, like, I didn't care about season 1 so much. I didn't expect to get so invested in season 2 that even the songs would make me
Really?
react that way.
They had me at Thank You Next at the very first debutante presentation. That was great.
And they snuck in some Alanis Morissette in there too.
Yeah,
Yes,
did.
they did.
Oh,
You
just-
ought to know. You
Yup.
ought to know.
I mean,
was so good.
we're saying the song choices now, but when you do actually watch it, it just like hits differently. It just
Mhm.
makes it.
Absolutely.
It just gives so much more context to what's happening.
I
Mhm,
think
mhm.
something that really worked in the second season's favor is that since we already know who the characters are and all the actors are a bit more comfortable living in this heightened reality, that it gave them more room to play because they didn't have to establish anything anymore.
Yeah.
Because we already knew who they were. We already knew where they fit in this society. So we could delve more into what kind of people they were. They could be a little bit more human. Does that make sense? Because you said earlier that Anthony is more vulnerable here.
Mhm.
I think that applies to a lot of them, like especially even the Bridgerton's mother. Honestly, Lady Bridgerton in this one is far more likable even than she was in the last one. Here she's like a real caring, doting mother.
Mhm.
And when Daphne drops in every now and then, and I love that they would do backbends to try to justify why she's here now but not there later, and why she's there now but only by herself. And sometimes she'll have the baby, but sometimes she won't. But we just like seeing people from the first season. But I like that she's portrayed as more confident, that she's actually the one dishing out advice this time around. And
Yeah.
she's the one who actually brings Anthony down to earth a couple of times, which is great. I think that is that really clearly stems from her life experiences now that she is married, now that she's a duchess, and she's owning it basically.
Mm.
And I like seeing that evolution of her character. Which,
Without seeing season 1, I like that you talked about this because without seeing season 1, that's what I got from Daphne. Because I knew that she was the lead in season 1 because my wife would tell me certain things about certain characters because I was trying to catch up. But so it was nice seeing that. Like it felt like without seeing season 1, but knowing of the background, it felt like there was actual character growth for Daphne. And that's what I enjoyed about this season with the newly introduced characters. They actually show character growth.
yes.
And as that happens, we have so many moments that that help define their progression in their own personal story arcs, and it's just perfect. I think it's aside from the fact that Shondaland characters have great sex, they have good character development too.
Yeah, that's something I said back in season 1. I was telling my friends, man, Shondaland characters have such dark, dramatic, and toxic lives, but their sex lives, on the other hand, woo!
And for the most part, they're all really, really pretty people.
Yes. But to be fair though, the relationships here, or the one relationship we're focused on here, it's not quite as toxic as most of the Shondaland characters that I'm familiar with.
Actually, that was quite refreshing.
Yes.
To be fair.
Uh-huh.
I like also based what I was saying earlier. I mean, it's not just Daphne who we check in on. We check in on a lot of other characters who had plot threads from the previous season.
Still no hot in-law.
I said, I'm not going to go there anymore. I'm on the record already. But I like that we touch, characters who didn't even factor into the books, like Marina. Her story is continued here. People don't just disappear from this world unless, they didn't get a new contract. The people, the Featheringtons, for example, they were cartoon characters in the first season. But here, they're real people with real problems.
Yeah, they're the social climbers of the whole place, but you kind of see why, and you kind of understand, as slimy and despicable as their characters usually are. It's like there is some part of you that feels some sort of sympathy for them.
Yeah, we'll kind of root for them in a
A
way.
little bit.
Yeah, a little
Still,
bit.
with a little bit of annoyance still, but that's the point of it. You're still supposed to be annoyed at them.
Yeah.
I like that Colin has grown up a little bit. He's not this wide-eyed romantic that he was in the first season. And I love that his siblings give him hell for his ill-advised facial hair when he first shows up from his tour around the world.
Or how
Because
how sick
what
they are.
That's what
Yeah.
siblings do.
Yeah, and how sick they are of like him talking about his travels. Oh, you know when I went to Greece. Blah,
I'm like,
blah,
oh
blah,
my
blah.
God,
Like,
shut up.
I also like how we touched more upon one of the other Bridgerton brothers, Benedict.
Oh, yes.
You get to see more of his ambitions and his plans in life, and you can see that he wants to go to art school. He wants to do something with his life because he sees his brother, his siblings, like get going somewhere. You know, since Colin was able to travel the world and stuff, he wanted to go to art school. He actually has ambition, but I like how his character unfolds. Like he's the complete opposite of his brother, who is just like so uptight, but he is the one like doing drugs.
I know.
I wanna know if
I just like the
Drinking,
fact that
you
he
know.
was. I just liked him just for the fact that he was the stoner in the family.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
I want to know if he's still boinking his art teacher's wife from the first season. Because I thought they had a good thing going there. I'm not saying that I approve or I'm necessarily entering in such a open relationship, but you know, his art teacher was in love with a man. He had a beard who he was happy to let sleep with Benedict, and I thought that was going somewhere. I was surprised that they weren't in this one.
Oh well, he has quite an interesting storyline here, and I love that they still have that dynamic between Benedict and Eloise. I love their relationship. Sila yung parang they're not both really black sheep, but you know how they're the ones who don't really have the burden of having to uphold the family name. Well, they still do to some degree, but they're the ones who don't really care about what other people think, and they just like wave their freak flag, you know?
Yep.
And they're the ones that get along, which kind of reminds me a lot of me and one of my brothers. We're kind of like that too.
I love that relationship they have where, you know, in the first season where he catches Eloise sneaking a smoke behind the house, and instead of turning her in, he bums a stick, and that becomes their thing. I mean, they bond over it, and they talk shit about people, and it becomes their thing. And I like that. It's expanded, it's continued here. They're still close. They can still tell each other things. I liked also seeing Genevieve again, the dressmaker to the ton. I always enjoy that, you know, she's a commoner who's faking it. She's got this highfalutin French accent that, you know, goes all over the place. but I like that she's just exasperated with these rich people already because, you know, the Featheringtons come in every other day looking for new outfits, and then there's a new ball every other day also. So she's got her hands full just trying to keep up with all of this high society types, because heaven forbid anybody shows up in the same dress twice.
Yeah, that's true. they really do depend on her a lot. And yes, the plot will thicken for her as well.
For all of them, even Penn.
Let's get to the new characters this time. We're very glad to see how season 1 characters have developed, but we've already touched upon Kate. We can still continue about her amazing chiseled face.
It's an amazing.
No, she's just really. It's just really striking.
Beautiful.
It's like,
So
holy
beautiful.
hell.
But yeah, if you're gonna talk about Kate, I just want to talk about how, you know, she's like, okay, her chemistry between herself and Anthony is just amazing. Like, okay, Anthony himself, kind of bland, your standard Mr. Darcy type. But when you put them together, it's like you can't, I don't know, it's for me, I couldn't peel my eyes off the screen if the two are together in a scene, because it just sparks fly. Like the meet cute alone was enough to just, you know, like you knew what a meet cute was, you knew what was happening, all the tension, all the setup, but you can't avoid but feel like so invested in these two. It was just amazing.
it's-
She's great.
It's also because of their competitive natures. They're both perfectionists.
Yeah, I think
and
it's
they
because of
both
that.
want to be the best at everything. But when these two kinds of people meet, you know one of them is not gonna back down. And this just like stretches all throughout the season. Their banter is great. Their
Yes.
insult, they just keep jabbing each other with witty retorts.
Yes.
And whenever something happens or progresses, it's just like so freaking rewarding
yeah.
when you just see the both of them.
It's just in the interaction between the two it's just amazing. The tension that they build up is, I don't know. There's just something about it.
Honestly, I agree completely on their game of one-upmanship, where they're just sniping at each other constantly. Because what I appreciated about this one more than the first season was that here they're talking more like real people. Like old-timey people, fine, but they're still talking like real people. In the last season, everybody was talking like in trailer lines, where you have to have
for you.
everything had to be a one-liner that could be cut at any time to end a trailer. But here, it's like they're less concerned with putting on a show. Here, they're actually talking like real people, so I was able to get into it more. Even if, and I'm sorry to say, there is considerably less on-screen sex in this season. But I think the tension made up for it.
You enjoyed them breaking down each other's guards or defenses. It's just enjoyable because it's witty. Two, it fleshes out more of the character. And three, like Simone Ashley just looks amazing.
Yes.
And for someone like me who thoroughly enjoyed season 1 for all the sexy time, I was mildly disappointed halfway through to not see much of it, or if any of it at all, maybe just some random butt exposures here and there. But it was okay at the end because I was rewarded with the story. The story was just like so well thought out of, and the characters were so developed that fine. I didn't care if there was no loin tingling as there was in season 1. But you know what? It was fine with me. Shut up, Angel.
We're on your side.
Yeah.
It's just, the choice of words just makes it more amusing.
Okay, so if season 1 made a lot of people horny, season 2 just made you feel kilig. It's just genuine butterflies when it happens.
Yeah, my wife was in a
accurate.
ball after watching the entire season, like she was so kilig that she shriveled up into a ball. Like, oh my God! Like all these, oh my God, expressions.
Yeah, so the delayed gratification is worth it.
Yeah, it's
Are you
rewarding.
speaking from experience, or are we talking about the show?
The show.
I see. Okay.
Thank you for clarifying for us.
Just so we're clear,
Clarifying for us and our listeners.
We're a wholesome podcast.
Sure.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Rated
Totally.
R.
Okay, so if we're done with Kate, let's get to her sister. This is let's get to her sister.
Let's talk about Edwina.
I know Angel was waiting for me.
All right.
The
Take it
single
away,
most
Mr. T.
Let it out.
most oblivious, annoying character ever. It's like everything's about me. Everything's about me, and the world revolves around my problems. You don't matter. Ugh,
But
so
isn't
annoying.
that the entire point of their, sucking up to the taunt? Because they want her. Her family went there to get her married.
I mean, to make Kate more likable or more lovable, you present somebody who's just, so annoying.
So
It's like, Mama. God.
Wow, you really hate Edwina.
Yeah. I hated her. To be fair, though, character development, again, was great. But, she was just annoying for a good 6-7 episodes.
there are just 8.
So you basically hated her for like 90% of the show.
I would have to agree naman. I'm on Angel's side
Not just
here.
me.
She was just like so dense.
Okay.
So
dense. I'm gonna try and play devil's advocate. I think she was the way she was specifically because she was sheltered. Her mother and her sister took pains to, protect her from the realities of the world. They just filled her head with all these notions. Kate loved reading her these fairy tales of gallant princes and princesses who would just wait for their prince to come. So, I can't entirely blame her.
Wait, okay. To be fair, which is why I mentioned there was great character development because, when shit hits the fan, you end up having somebody who's the most level-headed in the cast. So,
I suppose.
okay, fine, I'll give her that. But for most of the season, she's just because she's so oblivious, she becomes annoying.
She
Yeah.
is so oblivious even to the needs of her sister. Parang she
That's
grew up
true.
knowing that, oh, my sister's just gonna be there for me. She's gonna do everything for me. And
Mhm,
Kate
mhm.
was always so happy to oblige because she truly does love her little sister. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I was just so frustrated at Edwina for not realizing that.
Yeah, but
And-
to be fair though, the dynamic between the two as sisters, it was great. It was just
they were
it was cute watching them interact, and you
It
see the
was, it
doting
was.
ate, you see the
Yeah,
doting
that's
older
right.
They
sister.
even
She
have
was
like
basic-
nicknames for each other, like
The-
Bibi and Bon.
She was basically, Kate is basically Anthony from season 1,
Mm.
where no guy is good enough for her sister.
Right. That is so true.
Yeah.
That's exactly why she and Anthony get along, because they each know where the other one is coming from, because
And
they
they-
are the same person.
And
They're
they
all-
won't
they're-
admit it.
They're
That's
all
the
about
best part.
yes.
They won't
Yes.
admit that they
they
are
both
similar.
think the other one is the uptight one.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Which is I have no basis for season 1, but yeah, that's I'm of the same opinion. It just makes them more interesting together as a couple. Sparks fly.
Kinilig.
Kinilig ako.
Kinilig si Anjo.
Kinilig ako. As in, I'm okay, fine. This was a guilty pleasure because really, I really had no intentions of being invested. But lo and behold, I love this. I love season 2. Fuck. I told myself, I told you guys, I only have room for one Shondaland show, which was Grey's Anatomy. But I ended up enjoying Bridgerton season 2 more than the entire series of Grey's Anatomy, which is
Whoa! Oh, okay, wait,
Okay,
You've been
wait.
watching
wait.
Grey's Anatomy for years.
Wait,
back
wait,
it
okay,
up.
wait.
Back
I'm
it up.
gonna
Don't
back
say
it up.
things you can't take
I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna back it up. I'm gonna take
I mean,
that back. I'm
we're
gonna
not
take that
erasing
back.
this, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
I know.
keeping
Okay.
this here.
explain
I just- okay.
yourself.
I just said that in the heat of the moment.
Do not let your wife hear you. Or
Just because there's no latest season on Netflix yet.
oh,
Okay.
good save.
Or
good save.
maybe it's in terms of enjoyment, because this was
Yeah.
pretty light. This was fun. But Grey's Anatomy is just so fucking depressing. I know how invested
Yeah.
you've been on Grey's Anatomy for
Yeah,
like
'cause-
years and years, but
Because they haven't aired the COVID season yet.
maybe not better, but definitely more fun.
Yeah, and I want to say better. I'm gonna backtrack on what I said. I just said that in the heat of the moment because I'm all Bridgerton mode now.
All right.
Okay,
all
okay.
right.
Just so we're clear.
But,
Clear. Grey's
um,
Anatomy takes my Shondaland spot.
Okay. Good save.
Okay.
But we all heard you.
Yeah, but I was
But,
able to
you know,
backtrack. You guys were there to
speaking-
keep me in check.
Speaking of Shondaland, I mean, TV producer Shonda Rhimes, this Bridgerton actually is part of her $150 million deal with
God
Netflix
Damn.
to develop 8 TV shows. By my count, I think this is like the first one. The second one would be Inventing Anna. So she's on a roll. I can't wait
On
to
a
see what
bankroll.
comes next. Oh wow, yes. But I want to see what comes next to challenge Grey's Anatomy for Anjo's attention.
I don't know, like how to get away with murder. Wait, is that?
No, that's
Well,
not-
you never in a million years thought Bridgerton would actually even hold a candle to Grey's Anatomy. So, wag ka magsalita ng ng final. We'll find out.
I won't. We'll find out. We'll find out.
We'll
Sure,
find
sure.
out, definitely.
Kasi naman, like, okay, Grey's Anatomy kasi has the advantage of time. I mean, like, how many seasons have there been? 16?
God, it just won't end.
It just won't end.
No, they're like on season 19, 18 now.
18.
It
There
is
you
the
go.
show that doesn't end.
Yeah, and it goes on and on, my friend. Hand me my 10 blade.
And like, all the pretty people and all the people having sex in the break room.
Yes.
Ah.
Here it is the gardens. like in season
Yes.
1, you know. Well,
Yes,
actually,
yes.
season 1 was all over the fucking place. I take that back. Season 1
All
was
over
all
the
over
fucking
the place.
place.
Episode 6. Oh my god.
Oh
yes.
my god.
Okay,
Episode 6
I'm gonna
is
stop
just-
recording now and watching episode 6.
1 hour later. No, you watch it later without us, please.
But,
Yes,
I
I
would
will.
I would not like to witness
I will not
you
watch it
see-
mid-recording.
I'm interested in seeing what comes next because I'm not familiar with what the next book is. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe it should center around Colin Bridgerton.
Oh man.
Interesting, because I mean, like with season 2, we've seen him grow into a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was
Yeah,
hoping
because
it
he
would
went
be
to
Eloise.
Greece.
I wanted
well,
it to be
there-
Eloise, but fine. Colin's older, I guess, and he has more story to back him up, I guess. Fine.
Yeah. So we've talked about most of the characters now, and the music. What would you guys recommend this new season for newcomers? At least, like I'm a newcomer, like I would recommend it. Highly recommend this season. Like I've never watched season 1 now. So yes, that's a yes for me.
I would say yes, absolutely. I recommend this. Whether or not you saw the first season, I think the second season, honestly, is better written, better
Yes.
paced, better acted than the first.
Mhm.
The fact that the characters' heads are not in the clouds makes it a far better watch for me, honestly.
Far better. Because like
They're not in love with the idea of love.
yeah.
They're
And
more
honestly,
grounded, to be honest.
nababawan kasi ako sa conflict ni Simon sa season 1 eh.
Yes, oh my fucking god.
It's like all your problems would be solved if you just talked.
Yes, it really would.
Just tell her you don't want kids, asshole.
Exactly. At some point, she's gonna, well, she did put 2 and 2 together, I guess.
Ako na lang kasi ayoko ng anak. Yun yung
Just say it, right? Just say it.
joke lang.
And I'm generally not a fan of plots that depend on 2 people just not sitting down to have a fucking conversation. Because for me, that's just an easy way out,
Mhm.
really.
But
And it
yes.
didn't help. These people were living together. And she kept throwing herself at him regardless of his stupidity.
Yeah. But yes, none of those problems in season 2. Like
Yes.
Misha said, very well written. And for those of you who actually enjoyed season 1, you will enjoy season 2 for very different reasons. And it's something I really didn't expect from myself, who thoroughly enjoyed season 1 for very different reasons.
Okay, I can't speak for myself because I can't really compare, but I will speak for my wife, who did mention after, because I was watching this with her, who did mention very specifically that she really enjoyed this season more than season 1.
Mhm.
That's her thing. That's her thing. Mga Pride and Prejudice, shows like this, yung mga daplis daliri moment. Daplis daliri kilig. Because back then it was so scandalous having your pinkies touch another.
And
Oh.
I love how they describe the sexual tension here as a pleasing, stimulating, thrilling kind of torment. Because we were going through that too, just waiting for these 2 to hook up.
Yeah.
It gave the same feels sort of as I remember film class back then, and our prof made us watch In the Mood for Love by Wong Kar-wai.
Ooh, nice one.
And it's the same feeling. It's like I
Right.
remember watching
Yes.
it, and my classmate, in dead silence in the dark, because we were just like watching it in class, in the middle of the fucking movie, just screamed, "Tangina, mag-sex na nga kayo!" That's what we felt with season 2. It's like,
Yeah.
Catherine, ano ba?
hindi ko kasi agad hindi ko kagad na associate kasi Bridgerton and Wong Kar-wai, pero fine, sige. After we broke down the season of Bridgerton season,
Delayed gratification.
fine, sige. Wong
I'm just
Kar-wai.
more- definitely not in cinematic sensibilities.
Yes.
Or depth.
Definitely. But
yeah, definitely not.
I get
but
it.
it's just that tension in that movie felt similar.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
like we said, delayed
It's just-
gratification.
It's just, like a good testament to the performance of the 2 characters and the writing of both characters. So, yeah.
Pretty
That's
good.
pretty
You'll
fun.
enjoy it for totally different reasons. And if you just like hop onto season 2 right away, that's fine. It probably just won't have as much scandal as the season 1 because it did really season 1 really did focus a lot on like all the scandals of all the families, hence more importance to Lady Whistledown.
XOXO, Lady Whistledown.
And that's a lot more toned down here in season 2 since we pretty much already know who she is. But still worth it. Still great.
Absolutely. I had fun. I had so much fun. I didn't expect it. I thought it would just be more of the same. Pretty people doing pretty things. But here I found myself invested and yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's me times 10. Like I really never that's me times 10. I never really expected to be invested, but lo and behold, here I am declaring, blasphemous shit like this is better than Grey's Anatomy. But I took that back. Thanks to you guys.
Yes, you took it back.
Being the voices of reason in my head.
I'm just glad that they got books to follow, even if they're not following them exactly. I like the things they added. I'm not entirely familiar with the things they removed, but I'm happy to see where it goes. And in any case, I don't think we're gonna go like 18 seasons and have somebody on a beach talking to all the dead cast members during the COVID season. Because oh my God, did you guys just run out of ideas? But don't get me wrong, it's nice seeing old faces again. I just prefer seeing them alive and not on a beach of ghosts.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely, at this point, I'm all in. I'm invested. I want to see where these characters go. And I think the producers have earned our trust that they know what they're doing with this adaptation, even if it's not completely the same as the books. I'm enjoying it. And I look forward to the next season.
Me too. And since you mentioned books, I'm actually really liking the direction Netflix is going by adapting these well-known books that may either be actually kind of bad or just okay. Like I think Bridgerton they're just like a series of romance novels, not really Pulitzer worthy or, I'm not sure if it was a bestseller. It probably was because they adapted it into a TV show. But my cousin particularly said that a lot was more dramatized in the Netflix TV show. And she found it even more entertaining seeing it on the screen. And I also found the same for the series You, which was a book as well. But I read the book and it was boring.
It's also kind of like Shadow and Bone.
It's so boring. The book was just like... So I'm glad Netflix took this turn, made it a little bit more... not just a little bit. The Netflix show turned fucking crazy. It was like freaking insane. Like ridiculous at some point. But... that's what makes it so enjoyable. They just add on things that you can never just get from the book.
Can you imagine that though? What the pitch for that was like? I want to take these semi-trashy romance novels and I want to make it hip and modern.
And semi-trashy TV.
And semi-trashy TV.
but fucking entertaining.
But everyone's super hot. And... people of color have rights. So it's an alternate reality, but there's lots of sex. So no one's going to notice.
And classical modern pop songs.
Yes, lots of covers of classic pop songs.
It's working.
What the hell kind of pitch would that look like? I don't even know, but I'm glad we got it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you add Shonda Rhimes into the mix, this is what you get.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. I'm not afraid to admit that it's enjoyable.
Yeah. So
no guilty pleasure here.
No. So if you do want to catch Bridgerton, it will probably be out by now by the time we release this. But yes, it is quite enjoyable. Out on Netflix for streaming starting March 25th. Go enjoy.
The tongue.
Not the
Sorry.
Yes, enjoy the tongue.
Momentum.
Yes. But we totally recommend it for the funsies, not the sexies, but pretty much funsies and killigsies.
Killigsies.
So go watch it on Netflix and AdPubHub for giving us early screeners. We thoroughly enjoyed it.
As well as the classy snacks that have filled our stomachs. Not a snack, it was a quite meal.
It was a feast.
A feast.
Bloody hell, I'm not going to do an accent. Screw you guys.
We tried. Okay, thanks again for listening to us. Once again, we are the Sub-Auteurs. I'm Anjo.
I'm Mai.
I'm Misha.
You can catch us on our socials on Instagram at @sub_auteurs. You can catch us on our Facebook group at Sub-Auteurs We Like Movies and our Facebook page, Sub-Auteurs.
Now, damn it. Now I can't sing out because they're all instrumental.
Oo nga eh.
You can hum it out.
You sound like idiots.
Tama na nga. Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
So long. Farewell.
Yay!